Hello everyone, I'm Brian. Today I'm reacting to Never Try This Yoga at Home, Kundalini Yoga Devotion Chakras 114 Sadhguru Adiyogi. That is a long title. So anyway, I did do some research in Kundalini in terms of the videos. I've reacted to Swami Taramananda and Sadhguru's video. But let's hear this version of it, and why is it... Okay, so Sadhguru is the one that says it's very dangerous. Swami Taramananda's guru said not to do it. I forget what was the reasoning why, but anyways, let's go and give this video a shot. Foreign.
So what is Kundalini? Right now, I'm speaking. This is Kundalini. You are alert and listening. If you are alert and listening, that is Kundalini. A flower is blossoming, that is Kundalini. A dog is barking, that is also Kundalini. Or in other words, the fundamental life force in the existence, we call it Kundalini. Now, within the system, within the human system, if you look at this as a kind of a life package, it's a piece of life. This piece of life is packed in a certain way with layers of this energy. One dimension of energy comes alive immediately because that is necessary for your survival process. The other dimensions of energy will not come alive unless you do something about it. Unless you're aware of it and activate it in a certain way, they do not come into existence. They remain dormant. The dormant energy is way bigger than the energy that is in use right now. To take care of your survival process, to live a physical life completely, to live a complete physical and intellectual life, you need to activate only about 21 of your chakras. Out of this 114, if about 21 of them are on, you will live a complete life. You will not feel any inadequacy. You will live a complete physical life. There'll be no problem with your life. You will think you're a great success, but you are only 21. That is less than 21% out of 114. Less than 20%. At less than 20%, you will feel like a complete life without any inadequacies. The remaining percentage of life, what is it about? It is not even needed if your intention is just to live well. If you activate this dimension of energy, other dimensions of life will open up. One thing is, are you ready for those dimensions? The question is not about whether it's good or bad. The question is just about, are you ready for it? Because even if the best things in life come to your life, when you are not ready for it, it will not be a good thing for you. In your experience, it'll not be a good thing if something came to you when you're not ready for it, isn't it so? Even if it's the greatest thing, it may be the greatest thing, but it came to you when you are not ready for it, then it is not a good thing, isn't it? So are you ready for it, is the first question. If you're ready for it, what can we do for it? What can we do to activate? There are various ways of doing this, many ways, but the Kundalini Yoga, are people familiar with Kundalini Yoga, practicing or… okay. Kundalini Yoga, I'm not making a comment about anybody, okay? Kundalini Yoga in its essence is the most dangerous form of yoga. I'm saying dangerous because it's the most potent also. What is most potent is always the most dangerous, if improperly handled. There are various kinds of energy in the world right now. Even the electricity is being manufactured produced in so many different ways. One of the ways that we do it is through nuclear reactions, nuclear reactors rather. It is the most efficient way of producing energy that we know right now, but it is also the most dangerous way, isn't it? When things go wrong, they go seriously wrong. When they're going right, it is the easiest and the best way to produce energy on the planet is nuclear energy actually. But when it goes bad really bad, like in ways that you can't fix it. So similarly with Kundalini Yoga, it is the most potent and it is the most dangerous. Without the necessary preparation and guidance, without expert guidance, constant guidance and observation, nobody should ever attempt it. But the problem is, books have been written about it and everybody wants to do the highest yoga. Nobody wants to start with A, everybody wants to start the alphabet with Z. This attitude itself is dangerous. What can be a life-transforming force can become a life-destructive force simply because without the necessary commitment and dedication and focus and understanding, it is being handled. Anyway, about rising the kundalini. If the kundalini rises, the dimensions of your life will change so rapidly that you must be willing to make the outside adjustments equally quick. Otherwise, things will fall apart in a big way. In the classical yogic traditions, there is a certain type of yoga we teach for people who live in family situations. There is a certain other type of yoga we teach for ascetics. In Isha we have both the forms. We have ascetic yoga and we have the general yoga. We will never teach you the ascetic form, that is the most potent way to do it. But it will demand a certain dimension of discipline and focus which your regular lives will not allow. If you do that kind of yoga, it will dismantle your outside life instantly. Now this yoga is not designed to dismantle your life, this yoga is designed to make your life happen better. When life happens better, when things happen better, you make more money, your business is going better, your profession is happening better, you are generally, unfortunately, your longing to seek the higher becomes slower. Yes? So in the real sense, it is not the good way to do it, but it's the only way it works in today's world. And it's the only way it works for majority of the people. For a small number of people, we can do it other ways. We can bypass all these things and just do very powerful ways of doing things. But it will dismantle all social structures around them, which is not good for everybody to do. So these are different dimensions. Kundalini yoga, if it has to be practiced, you must be in a certain kind of atmosphere. You cannot live in social situations and do Kundalini yoga. Otherwise, in the name of Kundalini yoga, you're doing something simplistic. Otherwise, Kundalini yoga can transform the way you are within days. Suddenly you find you are a stranger in your own home within 2 days of practice, because it will change everything about you. So can we raise the Kundalini? Yes, we can.
It's interesting he says how everything in your life will be better. It's the most potent, the most dangerous. And it's not something you should do if you have a social life, which is kind of weird. But he hasn't really explained as to why. I mean, he says that it has to be done in a very specific way, under guidance, supervision, in a sense. And this is something he's also said in the other video that I reacted to of his. And then Swami Taramananda, he did it for the first time. And I did a reaction on his videos as well. And I really don't know how to take him doing it. It's very strange. He describes it as some kind of heat or energy rising from underneath and going up. He focuses on that, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think he's a Kundalini master. He is, I believe, Advaita Vedanta. So, and I think he said he studied it, and his guru told him not to do it. I forget the reason why. So can we raise the kundalini? Like, I wonder how long it takes to do it. But again, I guess the biggest thing, at least in the West, is finding someone who knows how to do it and to teach.
One way is to create a conducive atmosphere so that slowly it rises. The other way is to provoke it in such a way that it raises quickly. If it rises quickly, then everything changes dramatically. If it rises slowly over a period of time, changes will happen slowly, you will be capable of handling these changes over a period of time. But if it happens very quick, then you will not be able to handle the changes. Things will look like things are falling apart. So there are different ways of doing this. How many ways? There are too many ways. I will not go into how many ways. There are so many ways of doing it. Essentially, there are 112 ways of doing it. There are 112 ways in which you can take this up. From the base to… oh, for this you have to know the structure, otherwise it'll become very elaborate. Out of these 114 chakras, there are 7 which we recognize as 7 dimensions. Out of this, 6 are within the body, 1 just outside the physical body. So if you employ these 112 methods, you will handle the 6th chakras. The 7th one you cannot handle. There are 112 ways in which you can attain to a chakra which we refer to as Agna. But from Agna to Sahasrara, there is no way. There is no way to do it. You just have to jump into an abyss. If you have to jump into an abyss, you should be insane. Or you should have enormous trust in somebody. Somebody says jump, and you are jumping because you have such a deep trust in somebody that when he says jump, it has to be good for you. You simply jump into a bottomless pit. So, the journey from the Mooladhara to Agna, there are 112 ways to get there. But from there to there is no way. It is just one jump that can happen in trust, in devotion or in madness. Choice is yours.
To be in a state of devotion. To be in a state of devotion is the most intelligent way to exist. But most thinking people will not agree with me, because most of the time the so-called devotees look the most idiotic of all on this planet. One reason is, people are only claiming to be devotees. They're not really devotees, they're a kind of brand. They are more of a fan club. But generally they pass off as devotees. Being a devotee is not about being a fan. A devotee is beyond reason. Devotee is in a field where there is no right and wrong, where there is no like and dislike. Devotion is that mechanism which easily gets you there. Devotion is not love. When love is like a flower. A flower is beautiful, it's fragrant, but it wilts with the weather. Devotion is like the root of the tree. Whatever may be happening, it is on. It's springtime, the tree is in full foliage. It is autumn, it's full of flower. It's winter, it's barren. Whatever may be happening, the root is on, all the time on. Doesn't deviate for a moment. Its purpose to nourish the tree doesn't diminish no matter what kind of changes happen on the surface. Oh, there is no leaf, why should I work? Oh, there is no flower, no fruit, why should I do anything? It is not that kind, it is simply on. If one can be on all the time, in wakefulness and asleep, simply on, for whatever reason, he is a devotee. Only a devotee can be on all the time. He might not have ever worshipped anything, but he is still a devotee. He might have arrived at it through meditation, through love, through worship, but he is a devotee because he is on, all the time on.
So this is something I was going to ask a little bit earlier, but the little bell that he has, that he swings, I've noticed that he has that in some of his older videos, but none really on his recent one. I'm just wondering if anyone knows what that's about, and perhaps has he stopped or does he still do it? That has to have some kind of significant meaning to it. And I get what he means by devotees. When you are a true devotee, you will do what is needed regardless of what you think, whether you like or dislike it. That's very true. But again, the bell though. Curious about that one.
If this doesn't come, then the journey becomes long. The journey unnecessarily becomes long. So devotion, how to practice devotion? There is no such thing. If you practice devotion, it's fake. It's no good. Only when you see something as larger than yourself, bigger than yourself, there is a possibility of devotion. If you're too full of yourself, there is no question of devotion. So, what do I have to do to bring devotion in me? Everything that you're in touch with right now. You tell me, you're bigger or the air that you're breathing right now is bigger? Don't give me hot air, okay? Do you really think so? Now, you're going to sit there and eat your food. Which is bigger, you or the food in your plate? You became big only because of the food that you ate. Isn't it? Yes, depending upon how much food you eat, that is how you're becoming bigger. You say, what nonsense? A heap of food in my plate, is that bigger? But 3 days if we don't give you food, 4th day, devotion will come. You are bigger or the earth on which you're walking is bigger? Not bigger in size, which is more important, which is higher. That soil, in America we call it dirt. Tell me, you are bigger or dirt is bigger? Now, every moment of your life, whatever you're in touch with right now, whatever you behold, if you see that as higher than yourself, you will become a devotee. So, if you want to become a devotee, at least once an hour. Once an hour, in all the wakeful moments of your life, bow down to something, somebody, it doesn't matter who, don't choose. Whatever is in with you right now. Right now, if you see a tree, bow down to it. You see a mountain, bow down to it. You see somebody, bow down. A dog or a cat or an elephant or a cow. Elephant you will definitely bow, but anything, anything that you see, you bow down. Once an hour, just do it through the day. See if it can become once a minute. Once it becomes once a minute, you can't be using your hands and your body to bow down. You simply do it within yourself. Once it becomes that's your way, then you're a devotee. A devotee does not mean you're a walkover. That which bends will never break. That which knows how to bend will not break. That is why in the morning you're doing the yoga so that your body doesn't break up. Otherwise it'll break up, I'm telling you. Every day if you're bending it, it'll not break. If you don't know how to bend, it will break. That is so with everything within you. If you learn to bow, if you learn to hold everything higher than yourself, so you learn to look up to everything, you will become devotee. A devotee is not a brainless bimbo. A devotee is a different level of intelligence, which silly logical minds cannot understand. Because
I have a logical mind.
the devotees, once you are like this, that you don't think much of yourself, then your perception is enlarged. He knows things that you cannot even imagine. He can grasp things that you have to struggle with for the rest of your life. Because that's the nature of devotion. That there is not much of you within yourself. When there is no self, you're ready for the super self.
Okay, I'm guessing that's everything. Okay. So I do understand what he's saying about devotee there, but interestingly, this video went from Kundalini Yoga to devotion. Well, I guess I did say it there. Kundalini Yoga, devotion, chakras 114. So in terms of the devotion or devotee, I can see myself, my interpretation of that is that I don't see necessarily anyone above me, but no one below me either. But I do see ideas above me, greater ideas that affect many people. So obviously having a good society, something that's above just as an individual. Ideas that hold many people, how do I say this? An idea that benefits more than just one person, it's a greater idea, greater than an individual person. So essentially an idea that holds, that lifts or grants many people benefits. Having a fair and equal justice system, treating everyone the same, kind of things like that. I don't hold anyone to a higher standard, nor do I hold anyone to necessarily a lower standard either. Obviously, in terms of lower standard, you know, if someone doesn't know how to do something, I will not do the hard thing for them. I'll have to lower the standard so that they can learn to get up to the level and perhaps surpass me. So in terms of individual skills and stuff, of course, there's people who are better or worse. But in terms of just as a person, a human being, I try to treat everyone. I say that word. I try to treat everyone in equality. I hold ideals above people, individuals, but I generally don't hold anyone above another. So I don't know if that means I'm a devotee or not. I devote myself to ideas, not to individuals. Generally speaking, I don't know if there is an individual I'll devote myself to. I mean, of course, we devote ourselves to like our families, loved ones, close ones, friends, but I see that as something else different. Perhaps devotion in this sense that Sadhguru is talking about is holding your devotion to strangers is the same as your devotion to your family or loved ones, which I can't do. I understand that, I know that already, just because obviously trust has to be built. And towards the end here, Sadhguru was talking about how you're not just a walkover. And yes, and I'm glad he said that. It's the fact that doesn't mean you should just do everything just because someone said it, but be wise and smart about the things that you do. You don't have to do everything someone says to be a devotee. So long as you devote yourself for a greater idea, not necessarily for an individual person. You can help individual people for the greater idea, but you don't make the individual person the greater idea. I hope that makes sense, and I hope that made sense to me too. Meaning that this one individual person is the idea, which it should, in my opinion, shouldn't be. The idea itself should be above all, and then we lift everyone up based on that idea. But everyone comes, so it's essentially no one goes up or down. Now we just uplift everyone. Hope that makes sense. At least that's my idea. Could I get it wrong? Absolutely. It doesn't change the fact of what I believe that to be a good thing. Now whether that fits into what Sadhguru is saying, maybe not. My idea for devotion is, again, ideas, not individual people, but I get the understanding of course you devote yourself to yourself primarily because you have to take care of yourself, then those that are close to you, loved ones, friends. But the thing is though, it's not necessarily to discount people who you don't know, but to build trust. Again, for me, it's I can't just trust them equally like my family, but I'm not gonna sit there and say, oh my gosh, I'm not gonna be friends with them because I don't know them, or I'm not gonna be nice to them because I don't know them. I'm not gonna treat them not fairly, but I'm not gonna treat them nicely because they're strangers. So I'll treat them mean or rude, not like that. Treat nice, and then from there, I do believe in the golden rule, but you can always still be nice to someone who's rude to you. But again, you could also ignore them as well. So again, if that's something that doesn't follow devotion very well, then I definitely failed in that one for sure. But I'm not going to be a sucker for a person who's just mean and rude for no reason. But I can see if he changes his life or mine or his actions, then of course you can always accept the person back. Anyways, that's my reaction to never try this yoga at home. Again, I think Sadhguru in the other video explained a little bit more in terms of what could go wrong. I don't think he really said too much in this one in terms of what could go bad if you try to do Kundalini yoga without a profession. I don't know, a Kundalini master, I guess, would be the profession in Kundalini yoga. Again, that's kind of weird. That sounds so westernized. Like, yes, I have my PhD in Kundalini yoga. It's right here. It's like, wait, what? It's really weird. So, someone who has practiced Kundalini yoga, that's a better way to do it. A guru in Kundalini yoga, without someone to assist you in that one. Just weird to say, oh yeah, I'm a profession right here. I got the paperwork, so a sign, Sadhguru said I was passed. It looks forged, but it's not. It looks like my handwriting, but it's not. Anyways, if you like my content, please consider subscribing, thumbs up, thumbs down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next vid.